Okay.
Oh, okay. It took me a few minutes to understand what you were talking about with chunky octuplets.
Yeah, chunky octopus.
Eight fat babies. You could have said eight fat babies.
Yeah, but I mean, I was feeling verbose.
So
Okay,
you wanted to go with
I
octuplets?
wanted to go with chunky octuplets.
It's not a sentence you say very often,
No,
admittedly.
it's
It was a good chance to say it. Chunky octuplets.
you got to jump with those
I'm very
opportunities.
proud of you for actually being able to finish the phrase because that's a lot of syllables. Chunky octuplets. It hurts the back of your throat a little bit when you
It's
say it.
5 syllables. You can count it on one hand.
Yeah, but the hard sound, the amount of like hard K's and T's in the phrase, it kind of hurts a little bit if you like concentrate on saying it. Chunky octuplet. I imagine Germans feel like that a lot.
I like to think they're just immune at this point.
They've built up a callus in the back of their throat where they can go a
Yeah,
lot
seriously. I mean,
all the time. Or maybe they've evolved to have like a plate there. Like not as big as one Arabians have, because they're constantly going I'm assuming when they talk, but like it's very similar if you think about it.
I was actually talking to someone the other week, and I was saying that one of my favorite words was hunk, like hunka hunka
Hunk,
burnin' love. But to do it just right, you needed to have sort of that phlegmy uh, gargle when you started to say hunk,
hunk,
hunk. Yeah,
I'm a hunk of burning love.
exactly, exactly.
That's a fun word. I found out recently, someone said that cellar door is the most beautiful word in the most beautiful like mixture of words in the English language.
Wasn't that like C.S. Lewis or something like that? It was an author who said that.
Yeah.
Was this in your Inklings class?
No, it was there's a magic card
Oh God.
called Cellar Door. It was released in the newest set called Innistrad, which is based entirely around horror and the idea of like werewolves and vampires and spirits and such. Um, and you pay 2 mana and tap it, and your opponent takes the bottom card of their library and puts it in their graveyard. And if it's a creature card, you get a zombie. English compound noun cellar door, especially in British pronunciation, I don't even want to know, is commonly used as an example of a word or phrase which is beautiful in terms of phonaesthetics, with no regard to semantics. It is variously presented either as one beautiful instance of many, or as the most beautiful in English language, either as the author's personal choice, or that of an eminent scholar, or of a foreigner who does not speak the language. There's two citations for this. I'll find out. Grant Barrett apparently believes this, as does Geoff Nunberg. Good for him. So yeah, apparently this is like a big thing that anyone who's not into fauna aesthetics wasn't really aware of.
So there was no one person who originally made the claim because I could have sworn it was a poet, maybe Wadsworth or my main man Emerson.
I've got William Chapman White.
We'll go with that then. That sounds like a
I don't know
poetic
who he
enough name.
is.
William Chetman White.
What's wrong with Grant Barrett?
Because William White
Grant,
sounds like a Marvel Comics character.
you just
Mild.
want everyone like a Marvel Comics character.
No, it's the alliteration. Mild mannered William White eagerly entered the dastardly Donald's realm of evil, something like that. I mean, there's always
Dastardly Donald died the death,
death. Yeah,
Stephen. Really?
it was what I could think of.
William White was a foreign correspondent in the 1930s who became a columnist for the New York Times and the New York Herald Tribune. He was known especially for his 1954 book, Adirondack County. His
I
connection with
love
the
that
Adirondack.
book.
You know this man, then!
All the kids are
His
hep on
connection.
their Adirondack County.
I remember the first time I read the Adirondack County in third grade. It changed my life, Stephen. Changed my life.
I know, it was like the Harry Potter of its day.
Oh my God. Wikipedia has a link to the full text.
God. It was
You
so
can
hot
read
it ended up
all
in public
about that
domain.
county. What?
I said it was so hot it ended up in public domain.
The illustrations are really pretty.
It's
The first
illustrated.
one has, yeah, the first one has a picture of a man with a canoe. Not in the canoe. He's holding the canoe because that's what you do when you have a canoe.
Canoe's a good word.
Canoe is a lovely word. I like bubble, mostly because of the bee sounds and because I watched Finding Nemo too much as a child.
You cannot watch that movie too much.
You can if you watch it like too many times in the same day.
Okay, I'll agree with you there.
Like it's good once a day. After like the first time a day, then it becomes like terrible.
Hmm. Little
How
Mermaid
many
was that movie for me.
you didn't like Little
No,
Mermaid after a while?
I loved Little Mermaid. That was my movie when I was a kid.
Hmm. What did you think of Little Mermaid number two?
Wow, that's. I actually didn't hate that movie. Conceptually, I hate
Ursula's
it.
Sister's Revenge.
Yeah, I know what it's called, but well, no, it's not. I know what you're talking about. I don't hate how it's executed. I hate the gen. If you explain like the plot in one sentence, Ursula's forgotten sister shows up and fights Ariel's daughter. I hate that.
Hmm.
I hate that that's the summary. But I thought it was executed decently enough.
Yeah.
I think it.
Wasn't there a third Little Mermaid?
Yeah. It was a prequel. It was a prequel.
Oh, yes.
And
They did that to all of the things.
Gwen and I. Gwen and I had a long discussion after watching the prequel because we were talking about how Ariel's boobs, if you follow the chronology of these movies, her development is really friggin' weird. Like the
Do they
animated,
get bigger as she's younger and then get smaller as she ages? Does that happen? Or is it something else?
they shrink over time, yeah. But here's the creepy bit:
It's because
the animated
she
TV
became
series.
a mother, so it can make her over sexualized.
But she's never more voluptuous than when she is in is canonically her earliest years.
That's because she didn't have a man. The fishy girl was trying to get a man, so she became voluptuous.
That was the first thing she went to Ursula for.
Ursula, I want to be a size double D. Honey, you're an A cup. I can do B, but that's the best I'm doing. Oh no! Anything else and I get your voice. But I can't give you my voice. I need it for singing about thingamabobs and doohickeys.
I'll give you Sebastian's firstborn.
Done!
Yeah. Oh man.
Is that why Sebastian's so cranky? Because all of his firstborn were given to Ursula?
I like to think that an actually more likely scenario would be like that's what happened to Flounder's mom, and she's just been raising him out of guilt ever since.
Oh, I love it! That's so terrible!
What I
It's
love
so
is
terrible. I love it.
I can just see her complaining about this to like Triton before she goes to Ursula. But father, I want boobs.
You're a
Ariel!
beautiful child. Yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Human boobs are forbidden.
What did she have before?
Tits under the sea is far better than anything up there. They'll be too large, Ariel, and you will float to the surface and pop like an overripe tick. What's a tick, father? Don't ask questions. That's human talk.
Oh my god, what would a whale do if it had boobs? They would be so massive and so veiny.
I don't know.
Terrifying.
They'd be massive and veiny, but I honestly don't know that they'd ever really descend. I see them being just wide and flat as all get out.